Well, they won't be fooling me. Let's begin. Of course, yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but every so often it seems like they're not happy and they just want to throw a spanner in the works where we have to follow new rules every now and then, don't we? And this time, of course, they're going to be peeing a load of people off with this one. They are, according to this article, doing a trial, but just what sort of trial is it? Well, apparently it's all about cutting a speed limit. It just makes me wonder, though, if this trial is so successful, if they might, I don't know, roll it out across the rest of the country. It just doesn't seem to sit right with me. But anyway, the article says that they're apparently going to put in a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit reduction to test, apparently, if drivers would go slower on the M1, and it has resulted in around £80,000 worth of fines being dished out daily. And I don't know about you, but it just strikes me as some sort of cash cow or cash grab, because let's face it, if a council is, I don't know, running a bit short on money, they could either try to go to the government for help or maybe put in something like this. And obviously I could be wrong, but let's face it, how easy would it be for them to say something like, "Oh no, we shouldn't really spend all that money on our party. I mean, roadworks, what do we do? Oh, Jeffrey, I've got a brilliant idea. Can you reduce the speed limit so we can get a bit of extra moolah coming in, please?" And, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that is indeed happening, although it wouldn't surprise me if it was. But anyway, the article continues and says, the road near Sheffield has had a camera installed on the northbound side between junctions 33 and 34, close to Sheffield and Rotherham, where more than 22,000 have been caught out speeding, Birmingham Live reports. It just makes me wonder how long these trials are going on for, what they expect to find out at the end of it, and if they are going to reduce the speed limit along the whole of that stretch. Because let's face it, if there's not anything to do with getting more money in, then why are they trying to do this in the first place? Well, apparently, according to the article, it's for this reason. Officials say they are still studying all the new information collected about how fast vehicles are going on the road, with the results of the data due to be released. Stephen Elderkin, National Highways Director of Environmentals and Sustainability, said, "We are still collecting a huge amount of information and are studying it all very hard to see what it tells us." Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but it probably might be telling you that people are going the 70 miles an hour they thought it was, or what it used to be, or maybe, just maybe, are actually sticking to the 60 miles an hour limit. I mean, who would have thought putting a sign up might make people travel slower, eh? Especially, of course, if you give them a verbal kick in the gonads by posting them a fine if they don't. But he also says we will share the reports when they're ready. And Jack Cousins, though, apparently the AA's top expert on the rules of the road, said, more people than ever are speeding, so perhaps it's now a good time to remember that the best way to control your speed is with your own foot on the gas pedal. Well, no crap, Sherlock, eh? Personally, I think cruise control is actually a very good way of controlling speed, because let's face it, the car kind of does it for you, doesn't it? A British government spokesperson, it'd be interesting to see what they say, eh? Well, they apparently say it is dangerous to go over the speed limit on any road. We have firm rules in place against it, and the fines will help us follow through with them. It just strikes me as absolutely absurd that the whole reason why they seem to be doing this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but A, if they can appear to get away with it, B, because they want to get a bit of extra money in, or maybe the last one, C, because they actually do intend to roll out 60 mile an hour speed limits on motorways, and are monitoring this to see how well people actually cope with it. There was a time once, apparently in the 1960s, where we didn't have speed limits on the motorway, kind of like Germany's Autobahn, where you can just travel as fast as you want. And I saw a video clip on YouTube not so long ago where people were being interviewed on the proposed speed limits, and someone said, "Oh yeah, it will never work, and it's just going to hold people up." The thing is, though, the 70 mile an hour limit obviously did come into place, but with countries like Wales now reducing the 30 mile an hour to 20 mile an hour in a lot of areas, it does make me wonder if the 70 miles an hour that we're all used to will eventually get reduced to 60 miles an hour, and then maybe, who knows, even less than that. And either way, that's just going to be a massive pain in the arse for millions of people out there, surely. Unless, of course, they expect us to take the train, which I'm guessing they'll probably say that's allowed to go much faster, along with, of course, maybe any public transport exemptions. But whether or not that will happen, I don't know. The good news is that after a large backlash over smart motorways, which obviously was a new style road where hard shoulders were converted into extra lanes, the government has scrapped any plans to build new ones, which is, in my opinion, the right thing to do. There should always be a lane where drivers can pull over, not be worried about having someone crash up their bums if for whatever reason they don't notice the signs above saying, I'm sorry, you can't go in that lane. Also as well, surely gives the ambulance and police a lane to at least get to that person, rather than of course try to work there through any sort of gridlock traffic if that seems to be the case. Unless of course they're being stopped by one of these eco-idiot protests, which unfortunately still seem to be happening, don't they?